Okay, folks, here we go, and welcome to our third watch along. I believe this week we are in Loch Tay, and it's going to be really exciting to kind of share some memories with you about this beautiful place. Loch Tay is just one of those most stunning places. If you ever if you ever wanted to visit somewhere that had stunning mountains, lakes, and forests, Loch Tay is just one of those amazing places. And where we stayed in Pitlochry, it wasn't far from Loch Tay at all, and it was just so wonderful. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's crazy to think, from my perspective, that this has been 5 years, and all that's changed in 5 years. Is just amazing. It really is. So here we go. Okay, we're back to our little square lens there a little bit. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but the text font that's used there, it's a font called Poor Richard. And for this show, we explored with a wide variety of different fonts and things, from Algerian, which has a nice sort of Western kind of feel to it. But with Poor Richard, I thought this was just a really beautiful font that was there, and it worked really well for the episode. It kind of gave for the series, it gave the historical feel to it, and as the series developed, obviously it really worked beautifully. So here you can see Loch Tay. It was a very windy day, but it was so beautiful, and this is the first episode, I believe, where we started reaching out to other people as well, that lived in Loch Tay, and this was by a gentleman who had a drone and had gone flying out in Loch Tay. And here you can see what's called the crannogs. So these are the artificial I suppose safety houses that were built during this time to offer protection, but this was like the prehistoric period, so these are really old, and this was a time you got to remember when bears, wolves, lynxes, and boars roamed the lands of Scotland. As you can see here, in fact, when they're talking about the wolves, the bears, and the boars. Doesn't that boar look cute? And lynxes. Or lynx. But yeah, it's crazy to think of Scotland at that time, where it would have been very almost unpopulated, and almost the landscape would have been unspoilt by this place. This was one of my favourite places to be, and the various waterfalls and lakes, and it was just lovely. It really was. So this painting is called Heart of the Mountains. It's one that I haven't seen again in... now this looks like the film may have been taken from 2016, but this is one that I haven't seen in its entirety in a long time. It's funny that both the Heart of the Mountains from this week and from Paradise Lost from last week, were two of the paintings that went on to really do some amazing, successful things. This one changed, I think, several times between day and night. It was one of the last times as well, I think, I was working with a palette knife, because eventually I just switched more to the brush. But thoroughly loved it, and it just brings back a lot of happy memories. This one actually sits on the top of our stairs in the hall, it's one of my favourite pins. I love it every time that I go up there. I look at it. So we can see here one of the early versions of it. It's actually daytime. There's a lot of snow on it. We were doing cabins, and gosh, you think I didn't know how to paint anything else? But as you'll see later on, it changes quite a lot. So let's see if we can skip forward a little bit. Okay, yeah, so here we are painting the house in. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks like a fun place to live and everything. The snowman that's out there and the bridge. The bridge, funny enough, was actually so thick with paint that when I re-edited it, I had to keep the bridge in because the paint just stuck up so much. But I think it worked really well. So this is the original picture you can see here. Look at me all smiley with the snowman. Beautiful mountains. And this is how it now looks. It's been changed to nighttime. You can see the detail on the mountains now. You know, a lot more atmospheric, and it is now the campsite and everything. You see the bridge that stayed there, and yeah. So that was, you know, a wonderful a wonderful painting. A lot of fun to put that one together. And this is the house in which we stayed in during filming. It's an old stone house. That the room that I'm in would get very, very cold, but you actually had a log fire in there to keep things warm. And so it was, you know, a lot of we never managed to get the log fire actually started. I think the logs were too wet, that had been left over. So yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this little trip down memory lane again for this week. I want to thank you for watching. Come visit us at outreachart.org for art supplies, for art teaching, for how to build a successful art business as well. And come visit us at johnmorrisartfromtheheart.com for more of my own work and various projects that we've got going on. Until next week, take care, God bless, and have an awesome one, guys. I'll see you soon.